Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Aries. So Aries, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So Aries, it seems like the High Priestess wants your attention, and it feels like it has a message for you, but one that it's not for you to listen to it or to pay attention to her. It is in a way, but it's more like she's asking you to nourish her, to nourish your own intuition, to just focus a little bit in your intuition, especially in regards to your sensitivity and how you have already matured enough in one aspect of your life, which feels here like the material part of your life. It's like that's what you have been focusing, and because you are in a very established position in that sense, in that material, financial, professional area of your life, it feels like you're free to work on something that you have forgotten, which feels like the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is opening up your reading today. What I heard at first, or more than hearing, like the sensation that I had from seeing this High Priestess was connected to the message that came up in one of the readings that was titled "The High Priestess is in Charge." And so I had this sense of like, here the High Priestess comes again, like here she is again. But the way that she fell from the deck for you today, Aries, she actually stumbled, from the deck with the other cards, and then she was stuck here in my arm. And it felt like a baby, right? When you're like nursing a baby in a sense, it felt like that. And so it had a sense of, yes, here she is, but specifically for you, Aries, like she needs your attention. It's not like she wants to call you out or say something significant. It's almost like she just wants your care. She just wants your attention, your hug, your it's like your sensitivity back, right? It's like nourish your High Priestess, nourish the High Priestess that there is in you. It's like she is here just wanting to be cocooned and embraced, right? She wants to be embraced by you. Like, nourish this High Priestess in you. This is the main thing that this High Priestess is saying to you. So it's not like she is demanding anything, right? It's like it's very sensitive, right? It's very innocent. It's very childlike. It's like this High Priestess for you, she has stopped in time, right? Like she has not been developed, because the Six of Cups here, although you're seeing it upright, it's actually because I turned it, because it came reversed. And I feel like it just came reversed for a little while, just to bring the message of why is this High Priestess coming in such a sensitive, childlike version of your intuition, right? Because you have forgotten it. Like you have forgotten your intuition, or even like your sensitivity, right? Because of also like something emotional that happened a while ago. But then as soon as I replaced the reverse for the upright, it felt like very soothing. And this soothing feeling came from the High Priestess. So it's almost like there's something that is very practical. It's very quick that you can do, like to turn this perception of like this extreme sensitivity. Like it's like basically saying, Aries, it's like for you to nourish this High Priestess in you, even though you have forgotten about it for a long time, or, very early on, perhaps. It's like when you go back to your childhood, it's like you were very much in touch with your intuition, with your sensitivity, with your emotions. But the more you grew up, the more you became like an adult, a responsible professional, somebody that has to pay the bills and sustain this physical life. The King of Pentacles is showing me like you have worked or you have devoted your attention to the material side of things, right? So it's like you were more concerned in like building a life of sustainability, of security, of wealth, perhaps. Like, you know, maybe you were after this professional stability, professional success. So that was your focus, right? It's like you wanted to develop that side of things, but you have forgotten that the High Priestess remained in that very undeveloped stage, right? That it's like that very it's almost like untouched. It remained untouched by you, and now it wants to be embraced. You see what I mean? So it's kind of like, because you have been in touch with the material side of things, it's almost like you have never stopped to think about how you truly forgot about like just being in touch with this High Priestess in you. But now it's like there is a quick correction, right? With turning the reverse Six of Cups to the upright position. It's like it's like you can rescue this High Priestess, but rescue might be a little bit too dramatic. Again, it's like you can nourish it. Like, I think this is the best word to describe what this feeling of the High Priestess is bringing to your reading today. It's like, yes, you have reached this level of success, this level of stability, this level of financial gains that you can sustain a good life, right? In this sense of things. But now, because of this, it's like now you can get back, or you can like embrace the High Priestess in you, so that you nourish your sensitivity, you nourish this, it's like this childlike, very innocent creature, very sensitive. It's like, it's kind of like reclaiming your sensitivity by nourishing your High Priestess. And I feel like there is a shift in focus here, but one that it doesn't feel artificial. It doesn't feel something strange. It feels like a shift in your awareness, perhaps. The Sun is talking about the focus. It's kind of like this, what is the name of the thing? When we are on stage, right? Just think about a stage of a festival or a show or whatever it is. There is like this, it's not flashlight. What is the word? I can't remember the name, but it's like, you know, there is a spotlight. There is this spotlight that is shining on you now that you have achieved this level of physical, financial, structural, bodily stability, like this, it's like the physical aspect of your life. It's now reaching this level of independence, in a sense, or sovereignty, if we think of that in that way. But the emotions, it's like the emotional side of your intuitive connection to the High Priestess. Like, this is a side of you that now needs to receive this focus. It's like, now that you're aware that you are the King of Pentacles, that you have the resources to, you know, just give some time to something that it's not related to the money, to the profession, to the career, to the stability, right? It's like, just focus on your well-being. It's interesting because the emotional well-being was coming through yesterday in the Pisces reading, but it felt like something very personal, something, it's almost like somebody that was concerned about their own mental health, about their own emotional health, in a sense, right? It's like this health, like this overall, this overarching sense of being healthy. But so being very cautious and working on that. But for you, Aries, the difference is that it's very, it's happening very naturally. It's like your focus, it's now shining a light on this High Priestess. It's like you have been shining this spotlight over your career, over your stability, but now it's time to shift gears and shift your focus, shift your awareness. It's like turn this spotlight towards this one, but not in a way that is going to blind her. It's almost like the way, it's exactly the way that this card felt, right? It's like I was looking down, I had my eyes closed, and I didn't like my focus was like in the task in a sense, right? It's like ready to receive. So it was a little bit like, you know, like this, right? Focusing on a routine in a sense, or in a certain ritual that you do when you are in this work mode, let's say, right? But as soon as this card fell here, like I had to open my eyes, and my face, like my eyes were turned towards this, right? So it's kind of like that. This is how I'm seeing the sun. It's like, this is your attention, your consciousness is now turning towards something that is asking for embrace, is asking for attention in that sense. I hope that makes sense. So the interesting thing about what's coming next, Aries, and differently than what came for Pisces yesterday, is that your emotional well-being, which is now being so naturally being gazed upon, and you paying attention to it, is because it's not in regards to just how you feel about yourself, or how you have forgotten about paying attention to the high priestess and nourishing it. It's all coming back in a very natural way. So it's not like there is this sense of obligation, or this sense of, you know, I need to do this right now, otherwise, you know, so and so will happen. It's not like that. It's very natural, it's very organic, and it's something that you desire, I want to say, because your emotional well-being has to do with family, has to do with the emotional connections that it's coming. It's like the same way that the high priestess wants to be nourished by you. It's almost like your family wants to be nourished by you. Maybe you thought that by focusing solely on this, you were, you know, providing a good life for those you love. But that's the thing. It's like the emotional rescue, the emotional reclaiming or retrieving that is happening is through nourishing the high priestess that is in you. And it's almost like by doing so, because you have forgotten and now you're remembering how significant that is, because it's not just about your intuition, but it's how your intuition being nourished, it's going to show you that it reflects, like it bounces back in all of your relationships, especially the closest ones, right? The ones that you truly love the most, the ones that you want to nourish, right? And they want you to nourish them. It's like this back and forth nourishing, right? Because it's a shared path, but it's the 10 of Cups. So it's almost like there has been, in your part, I want to say, like this focus to provide a good life for them, but maybe you forgot about the emotional nourishing, right? That had to come, you know, together with this financial aspect. So, you know, you might have given those you love, your family, like a good life, financially speaking, but what about the love, right? What about the nourishment? What about, you know, the intentional care, right? Like just being there, just being together in this shared path, right? It's like being available emotionally. This is what I'm hearing. It's like becoming more emotionally available to those that you love, because I feel like you had, like, you truly forgot about that, right? Because you were focusing on becoming this King of Pentacles, but it's like, it's very quick, right? It's like you can turn that button, you can turn on that mode, right? This intuitive mode in you. And by doing so, it's like the high priestess, it's like she turns on very quickly. It's like she's not that far away. She's not lost. It's not like you don't have to undergo like, you know, several years of therapy to rescue your spirituality, for instance. It's like as soon as you turn towards it, it's like your gaze will instantly activate your intuition. I hope that makes sense, because I feel like it's very quickly, right? It's like the moment that you pay attention to that, it's like you're going to remember. And by remembering that you are in a good place, it's like you're going to shift gears, going to shift focus, and turn towards those that want to be nourished with love, want you to like show how much you love them, right? So that they can show you how much they love you too, right? It is a reciprocal thing. That's the beautiful thing. because the Two of Pentacles is also this, it's wanting to be like a give and take, but with small steps. It's not yet the Six of Pentacles, because it's almost like before the Six of Pentacles, you have to go through the Six of Cups. So the emotional rescue, let's say, it's like first with your own spirituality, it's with your own High Priestess, but then the High Priestess is going to help you remember, in a sense, that your closest relationships, it's like they also need this nourishing the same way that you're giving to your spirituality. And it's so gorgeous, because I feel like it's in a very gentle way. It's almost like the moment that you mother your High Priestess, the High Priestess will help you mother those who you love, right? And it's not a matter of gender, of course. It's like, if this is parenting, it's like you re-parenting your High Priestess, like you are going to be able to re-parent those that you love, right? And this could be, you know, your own parents, by the way. It doesn't necessarily need to be your child, but it could, of course. But again, the give and take is reciprocal. It's just that is small, right? It's like, don't try to overwhelm yourself by doing enormous things, right? Or enormous emotional gestures. It's like, it's not about the bigness of it. It's about like the consistency. It's about like taking those steps, showing up, especially because this is a completely new territory for you, I want to say, but it frees you from, it's like maybe you were, because the Fool is talking about freedom, but it's talking about this new territory. And I feel like even though this feels familiar, because it's like you're retrieving something from your past, there's also like this strangeness to it, because you haven't touched upon this subject, or you haven't looked at this for such a long time, because you were so worried about becoming the King of Pentacles. So it's going to feel odd at first, but again, small steps are actually going to be like this very providential, very it's like this very quick turn, right? And it's going to feel, maybe that's why the freedom is here. It's like, because the freedom, the liberation, maybe you thought that before, this, it's like this reconnection with the High Priestess in you, and therefore like this re-establishment of your emotional bonds, your emotional connections, your it's like just the relationship with the people that you love the most. It's like maybe you thought that that would be very it's like it wouldn't be quick or easy or fast, right? It's like but it is. That's what this High Priestess is emphasizing to you. It's like, it's almost like she's asking, like, nourish me to the point that you will, it's like, I will back you up in this reconnection. You see what I mean? It's like, reconnect with me first so that I can help you navigate through this, making those bonds again. Because I feel like it's like the High Priestess, she, for you in this case, in this reading, Aries, even though in the what was the reading? The one about the fog. I think it was the one that I titled The High Priestess is in Charge. She was navigating in the fog. But here for you, she navigates completely in this watery realm, right? And then with the Two of Pentacles, it's almost like taking, like, you know, when you are entering a beach and the water is cold, so you're just like tiptoeing into the water. This is how I'm seeing the Two of Pentacles, because like the bigness of this first move, these first few steps, it's like they're going to, these first steps, Aries, they're going to be met by the other. This is how I'm seeing it. It's like it's going to be an equal desire to reconnect, but it can start very small and yet be very big and very determining in terms of like bringing you the sense of liberation. Maybe you have this, you know, emotional wound that you didn't want to remember on purpose because it felt very nostalgic. It felt very like you had longed for this reconnection with members of your family, right? But maybe you didn't know. It's like maybe you thought that for that to happen, you needed to reach this level of success so that you could come back, let's say, you know, in a better shape, or, you know, with a better image, or be seen by them in a way that you deserve their love. But that's the thing, it's like, because it's happening so naturally, it's almost like what you thought here in the past, that this would be the key to returning to your family, or, you know, having this very loving, nourishing environment. It's like, this doesn't require like conditionings. It's like, you don't need specific conditions to focus on this new territory that is opening up, or I should say that is being restored, that it's being returned to you, that by nourishing the High Priestess, you're learning that you can nourish this too, right? So even though it's new, it's not that new. It's like, it's just that you haven't touched upon this for a long time, or you haven't seen, or you haven't shifted your focus in such a long time for you to really perceive this as something new. But it's not exactly new, right? It's like, you're just remembering that you need to focus there as well, and you're going to be freed. It's like, the more you keep showing up, the more that you keep taking those steps, it's like, it's going to feel easier and even more exciting. It's like, you're going to enjoy the freedom of just being nourished, because you're nourishing yourself, and therefore you have enough, right, of your own emotions, like these very cared for emotions, that you can be there for the other, and the other for you, right? So Aries, I am going to pull more cards for you to see where this wants to go, and also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find a link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.